Today's class is all about balance, something that's challenging both on and off the yoga mat. In this class, we'll be working on building strength and stability in muscles that we need to provide a sturdy, strong foundation, but also the muscles that we need to help us ride the wobbles of the ups and downs. You'll also hear me talk about drishti, which translates to focal point. When we're in a balanced posture, you'll want to choose a drishti, either at a wall or down at the floor, and that'll help you balance better in the pose that you're in. For this class, you'll need a strap, a yoga block, and a blanket. So meet me on the mat and let's get started. For this class, we're going to begin in mountain pose to establish our strong foundation through our feet. So place the feet hips distance apart with all 10 toes pointing forward and line up your heel between or behind the widest part of the foot. Lift the toes. Now spread the toes and feel the increased engagement in the ball of the foot. So press into the inner and outer ball of the foot as you gently lower the toes back down. Now find that balance, maybe rocking back and forth slightly. Find the balance between the ball and heel of your foot where you feel like the weight is evenly distributed. Good. Now feel that connection through the four corners of your feet, the inner ball, inner heel and outer heel as you build up through the legs. So firm the shins. Squeeze the muscles of the thighs against the thigh bone. So squeeze the quads, engage the hamstrings, hug the muscles of the thigh against your femur bone. Lift the kneecaps up towards the ceiling. Find neutral pelvis, so draw the tailbone down and draw the belly button in, making the tops of your hip bones level with the ground. Lift through the sides of the waist as you draw the belly in. Roll the shoulders back and down, releasing the arms down at your sides, palms facing forward. Sides of the neck are soft, chin is parallel to the floor, and your gaze, or drishti, is straight ahead. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and exhale through the nose, maybe even closing the eyes here for a moment. Let's take 4 more breaths here in mountain pose. Feel your strong connection between your feet and the floor. Engage the muscles of the thighs. Really hug the muscles of the legs in against the core of the leg. Keep the core drawn in and engaged. The core will help us stabilize as we balance. And on your next inhale, let the eyes slowly blink open. So we're going to come from this mountain pose into chair pose. So as you inhale, sweep the arms down to graze the floor as you bend the knees, and then reach the arms forward and up to come into chair. So you'll want the knees lined up behind the second and third toe, and you'll want to take the weight back into the heels. And then on your next inhale, press through the feet to stand up, and exhale to return to mountain. Let's do that 4 more times. Inhale, sweep the arms down, forward and up. Chair pose, sit your booty back in an invisible chair behind you. Inhale to come up, and exhale to release the hands down. Inhale, sweep the arms down, forward and up, bringing the biceps alongside your ears. Squeeze the glutes. Inhale, come up and release. Good. 2 more. Inhale, graze the floor as you sit down in your chair. Exhale here. Inhale up. Exhale, release. 1 more. Inhale, sit down in your chair. Imagine that you wanted to spread the feet apart on your mat to engage through the outer hips. Draw the belly in. Inhale and exhale. Now, Option to do the same thing, or you can add a heel lift. And I'll show you how. We're going to do it 5 times. So inhale, sit down in your chair, engage the core. As you exhale, lift the heels up off the mat. Keep the heels lifted. Inhale to come up to stand. Exhale to release everything down to the floor. 4 more times. You've got this. Inhale, sit down in your chair. Exhale, lift the heels. Inhale, press up, keep the heels lifted. Exhale, release everything back down. Don't get frustrated if you fall out. Just come back in and know that it comes with time. Inhale, sit down in your chair. Exhale, lift the heels. Good. Inhale, press up. Ride the wobbles. Exhale, release down. 2 more times. You've got this. Inhale, sit down in that chair. Engage the core. Lift the heels. Good. Inhale, press up. And exhale, release everything down. Last one. Inhale, sit down in the chair. Spread the feet as you exhale to lift the heels up off the mat. Last one. Inhale, press up. And exhale to come back down. Good. Come to the top of your mat as we come into our sun salutation A. So mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Fold the torso forward over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Lengthen the space at the back of your heart. Exhale to fold. Rounding through the spine, taking your gaze in between your knees. Now bend the knees a lot, place the hands down on the floor, and then step the feet back, one and then the other, to come to plank pose. Now draw the belly button up and in as you lift the hips up and back to come to downward facing dog. Good. Pedal the feet out here for a moment. Make sure your fingers are spread nice and wide, so big slices of mat in between each finger. Now find stillness with your legs, and then I want you to rock your weight to the left. So take your left hip out to the left and feel how it feels to be in the left side of your body. Now inhale to come back to center. Exhale. And then inhale to shift your weight over to the right. So take your right hip out to the side. Good. And then inhale to come to center. Let's do that again. Inhale, come to the left. Feel the imbalance. Exhale to come back to center. Inhale, come to the right. Feel the weight shift. And then inhale to come back to center. Now here in downward facing dog, I want you to draw everything in toward the midline. So squeeze the shoulders in towards the midline. Draw the sides of the waist in as if you were zipping up your core into a corset. Good. Hug the inner thighs in. Squeeze the outer hips toward each other. Press down through the palms. Good. Find lots of engagement here. Lengthen through the spine. Tailbone reaches up. Crown of head reaches down. One more breath. And then inhale to bring the shoulders forward to plank pose. So stack shoulders over wrists. Bring the hips in line with shoulders and heels. And then I want you to think about the same thing, hugging everything in toward midline. So energetically hug the palms in toward each other. Squeeze the forearms, squeeze the upper arms, the elbows. Draw the sides of the waist in. Knit the low ribs together. Hug the thighs in toward each other energetically. Feel the body really turn on. Maybe it even starts to shake. Good. Breathe. Get long through the spine. One more breath. And then press the floor away as you lift the hips up and back to return to downward facing dog. Now this time, in downward facing dog, keep the engagement of the arms, so hug the shoulders in, hug the core in, but this time I want you to imagine you spreading your feet apart on the mat. So imagine that you could spread your feet wide on your mat and you could rip the mat in half between your feet. You should feel the muscles of the outer hip and the IT band area start to engage. So we're not actually moving our feet, we're just energetically spreading through the balls of our feet as we hold. Breathe. Good. Keep going. And then on your next exhale, slowly lower the knees down to the mat to come to tabletop. Now, if you need some extra cushion under your knees, you can grab a blanket, place that blanket underneath your knees, or you can even double up your mat. So like fold your mat over on top of itself if you need a little bit of extra cushion, up to you. So come to tabletop, find length in the spine, reach the crown of head forward and the tailbone lengthens back. Good. Now we're going to start by reaching the left leg back. So press back through the left heel, flex through the foot, toes point down toward the floor, and then inhale, the right arm reaches forward. Now again, think about hugging everything in towards the midline. If lifting the arm up is too much, lower the right arm down and focus just on the back leg. Think about hugging everything in towards the midline. Squeeze the shoulders in, draw the sides of the waist in, squeeze the outer hips together. Good. Thinking about everything hugging in towards center line. And then let's exhale to bring everything back down. Right leg reaches back, starting here, toes point down towards the floor, flexing through the foot, reaching back through the inner and outer heel. Draw the abs up and in, option to reach the left arm forward, coming to bird dog on the second side. Squeeze everything in towards the midline. Really hug it in. Cinch the waist, squeeze the top of the arm bones into the shoulder sockets. And on your next exhale, lower everything back down. Left leg reaches back, option right arm reaches forward. We're challenging our balance here by coming onto one hand and one leg rather than two hands and two legs. So hug everything in, take your gaze down towards the floor. Focus your drishti, hug everything in towards center line. Exhale, lower down. Right leg back, option left arm forward. Squeeze in, draw everything in towards center line. That line that runs from top of your head to your tailbone. Hug it in, squeeze it in, draw the belly button towards the back body. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Again, left leg reaches back, option, right arm reaches forward. One more time. Really hug everything in, breathe deeply, take your focal point down to a spot on the floor. Ride the wobbles if it's a little bit windy. Good. Now I want you to take your toes of your left foot down to the floor. Place your right hand back down in line with your right knee. And then we're going to open up into a modified half moon pose. So you're going to shift your right shin out to the side like a kickstand. Press into the right hand to roll the left shoulder open to come into a modified half moon. Now, you can place the hand down on the floor or you can take it onto a block if you need a little bit of extra height. Left hand on your left hip, and then we're going to do some leg lifts on the left side. So slowly, we're going to inhale that left leg up, left leg lifts, toes point slightly down towards the floor. So I want you to turn your toes not straight ahead, but slightly down towards the floor, and then exhale to lower down. 4 more times. Inhale up, toes point slightly down, flex through the foot, lower down. We're engaging the glute medius. Inhale up, which is a muscle that we really need for balance. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale up. And by turning the toes down, exhale down, you're specifically engaging that muscle. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. Take that left hand back down to the floor. Bring everything back into tabletop. And then we're going to reach the right leg back and the left arm forward. Bird dog. Hold everything in. Squeeze in towards the midline. Draw the abs up and in towards the back body. Suck that belly button in. And on your next exhale, place the hand back down. Lower the right toes down to the mat. Take the left shin out to the side as a kickstand. Roll that right shoulder open now. to come to your half moon second side. So push the floor away with your left hand, take the right hand to right hip, and then we're gonna do 5 leg lifts. So toes pointing slightly down, flex through the foot, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, moving slowly, inhale up, squeeze, exhale down. 2 more, inhale up, exhale down, toes point slightly down, inhale, squeeze, and exhale, lower down. Take that right hand back down to the mat, return to tabletop once more, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, press the floor away, come to your downward facing dog. Good, so you can choose the option that you'd like to take here with everything hugging in, or pressing or spreading the feet away from each other to engage through the outer hips. You can go between the two even to see how they feel different. So drawing everything in towards center line, or spreading the feet away from each other. Good, and then we're gonna slowly start to walk the feet towards the hands. Coming into your standing forward fold, so bend the knees slightly, drape the body over the thighs. Inhale, half lift, shoot the heart forward, tailbone lengthens back. Exhale, bend the knees to fold. Inhale, press through the 4 corners of the feet, spread the feet as you sweep the arms down, around and up, reach up, exalted mountain. Exhale, mountain pose. Now move anything out of your way, so if you had a blanket, set it off to the side. Come to the top of your mat, and we're gonna sweep the arms down, forward and up. Come to your chair pose. Now from this chair pose, we're gonna be transitioning to high lunge, but I want you to move super slow, like you're moving in slow motion. So take your hands to your hips, draw the abs in, pick your left foot up off the ground, bending that knee more, and then step it back really slowly. Holy cow. Come to that high lunge, long stance. So you want your stance to be about hips distance apart, so make that adjustment if you need. Right knee stacks over right ankle, right kneecap tracks over second toe. Bring the shoulders over the hips. Good. Now, reach the arms forward and up, and then we're gonna open up into a high lunge twist, and we're gonna do it 5 times. So I want you to keep that right knee stacked over the right ankle as you take the left arm forward and the right arm back to open up into the high lunge twist. Draw the abs in, inhale up, 4 more times. Exhale, twist to the right, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale up, 3 more times. Exhale, twist. Use your core to twist. Inhale up. Notice if your right knee is still in alignment. Exhale, twist. Open up. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale, twist. Hold here. 2 breaths. Squeeze everything in. Draw everything in towards the midline. Squeeze the outer hips in. Draw the sides of the waist in. And then inhale to come back up. Slowly take the hands to your hips as you step the left foot forward. So really slow, shift the weight forward into that right leg. Pick the left leg up off the ground. Mindfully place it down. Sit down in your chair. Knees behind toes, weight in your heels. I know your legs are burning. Hang with me. Hold here in your chair. Sit a little bit lower if you can. Draw the outer hips in. Squeeze the shoulders in. Now take your hands down to your waist. Place the weight in your left foot. Lift that right foot up off the ground. Slow motion. Step back into that high lunge. Stack left knee over left ankle. Bring shoulders over hips. You guys are doing great. Inhale the arms forward and up. High lunge. We're going to come into that low or the high lunge twist. So you'll twist to the left now, bringing the right arm forward and the left arm back. Squeeze everything in. Squeeze. Good. Inhale up. High lunge. 4 more times. Open up. Right arm forward, left arm back. Hug the hip in. Inhale up. 3 more times. Exhale, open. Draw everything in towards center line. Squeeze the abs. Use your abs to twist. Inhale up. 2 more. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Hold. 2 breaths. Draw the left hip back, the right hip forward. Squeeze everything in. You've got this. Almost done. And then sweep that left arm forward to come back to the high lunge. Take your hands to your waist. Mindfully, slowly step that right foot. Place it down. Sit down in chair. Last one. Good. Hold here. Hug everything in. Squeeze the outer hips together. Lengthen the tailbone down. Sit just a little bit deeper if you can. You can do it. And then inhale. Up and release. Beautiful. Beautiful job. All right, now we're gonna really get into the balance challenge. So our right leg is gonna be our standing leg. I'll mirror you. So your right leg is gonna be your standing leg, and then you're going to lift your left thigh to come parallel with the floor. So flex the foot 90-90 with the knee and the ankle. Good, and then take your left hand to the inside of the left leg and then open it out to the side. Good. Squeeze that right hip in. Press through the heel of the right foot. Good. And then I want you to take the sole of the right foot to the inner calf of the standing leg. So moving really slowly, we're coming into tree pose. So try to square the hips towards the floor. Notice if this hip has popped out to the side, and then squeeze it back in. Okay, we want to engage through this outer glute area. Good. You can take the hands to prayer. And then find your drishti. So find your focal point straight ahead of you. It may help to put a micro bend in your standing leg, in the knee of your standing leg, and then just ride the wobbles, okay? It's okay for you not to be totally still. Your body is naturally gonna wobble, but just firm the standing leg. Press the sole of your foot into the standing leg and the standing leg into the foot. Draw up through the waist. Hug everything in towards midline for 3, 2, and 1. Release down to the floor. Let's take it to the other side. So left leg is the standing leg. Bend that right knee. Bring the thigh parallel to the floor. 90 in the knee, 90 in the ankle. Hands to waist. Good. Find your balance. Squeeze the muscles of the thigh. And then begin to open up the knee out to the side. Good, so find your standing strong here. So squeeze the leg, take your drishti straight ahead, and then very slowly place the sole of the right foot against the calf of the left leg. Good, so find your tree pose, squeeze that left hip in, make sure it's not popping out to the side, but squeeze it in, and then take the hands to prayer for tree pose. Breathe. Good. Stand tall, relax the jaw, relax the muscles of the face. I know you're concentrating so hard right now. You guys are doing amazing. One more breath and release. So now you have the option to do the exact same thing that we did the first time, which is bending the left leg, opening out to the side, and then coming into tree pose. Or you have the option to use your strap to take it a little bit further. So start by stepping the sole of the left foot into the strap, taking the straps into the left hand. Now start with the knee bent and then extend the leg if you can. It's okay if you still have a bend in the knee, no big deal. Now flex that foot, keep the foot active, put a micro bend in your standing knee. Good. Now, you can take the hand to the waist or open out to the side for counterbalance as you begin to open up through the left leg. Again, it's okay to have a little bend in the left knee. All right, so hold here, squeeze the standing leg, find your drishti or focal point. Good. Draw the belly button in, squeeze everything in towards midline. All right, now we're coming to tree pose, so option to take the foot back to the calf, or you can release the strap and bring the sole of your foot to the inner thigh. Now don't place your foot against the knee joint, okay? You want to be above the knee joint, and if you can't get above the knee joint, then take it down to the calf. Hands start out at your waist. Find your strong tree pose. So firm the standing leg, draw that outer hip in, and then if you like, you can inhale the arms up and overhead. Option to bring the hands to prayer. Good. Find your drishti. Find your focal point. Squeeze everything in towards midline. Press the sole of the foot into the thigh and the thigh into the foot. Engage the core. Zipper the core up. Good. One more breath. And release down to the floor. Okay, let's take it to the second side. So grab your strap. Again, option to keep the knee bent with no strap, or take the strap around the sole of your right foot. Good. Take the hand to your waist, and then you'll start by extending the leg. So really get strong in that standing leg. The left leg firms. Put a little micro bend in the knee of the left leg. Good. Find your focal point. And then we're going to begin to open up out to the side. So maybe taking the other arm out for counterbalance. Now notice if you're compensating anywhere, really squeeze in. Keep that standing leg super engaged, really using these outer hip muscles to balance and to draw everything in towards center line. Good. Breathe. Find your focal point. Ride the wobbles. If you fall out, come right back in. No big deal. Now bend that knee, release the strap, and place the sole of the right foot on the calf or the upper thigh. Make sure you're avoiding the knee joint. Good. Take the hands to prayer, to your hips, or grow your tree. Find a long spine, really ground down through the four corners of your standing foot. Squeeze the thigh. You guys are doing great. Relax the face. Take your gaze straight ahead. Just a couple more breaths here. Maybe it's windy in your forest. If it is, that's okay. Just hold on. Come back if you fall out. Ride the wobbles and release down to the floor. Great job. Go ahead and set your strap off to the side. We're going to come into a little standing side bend. So take the left foot behind the right and then reach that left arm up and over. Create a half moon shape with your body. We're going to stretch out through the left side of the body. You should feel a stretch through this whole side seam of the body, maybe even into that left hip. Good. Just a few more breaths. Should feel really good after all those chair poses. And then inhale to come up. Let's switch sides. So now take the right foot behind the left foot and then reach that right arm up and over. Coming into your standing side bend. Deep breaths. Really open up through the right side of your body. Good. And inhale to come up. And then let's come to sit down. So we're coming to butterfly pose. So bring the soles of your feet together. It may be helpful for you to sit up on a folded blanket if your low back tends to round when you sit here in butterfly pose. So go ahead and elevate the hips up on a blanket, or you can take the feet forward so that you create more of a diamond shape with your legs rather than a triangle. That's going to make it a little bit less intense. So choose the distance of your heels from your groin, whatever feels the best. Roll forward onto the fronts of your sit bones, holding the ankles or interlacing the fingers in front of the toes, your choice. And you can stay lifted or option to fold forward. Try to keep length in the spine and draw the low ribs up out of the hips. One more breath. And then inhale to come up. Straighten your legs out in front of you. So you want your seat at about the middle of your mat. So come to Dandasana or staff pose. And then we're just going to bounce our legs down on the floor. Make fist with your hands and do a little patting action with your fists on the outer hips. We're going to release some of those muscles that we worked so hard. Good. Just a couple more breaths. Really shake it out, release the tension, and come to stillness. Bend the knees, take the feet flat on the floor, reach the arms forward, and then we're gonna mindfully roll ourselves down onto our spine. So start to hinge back and then hollow out the core to round the low back as you come down vertebrae by vertebrae, using your abs to help you down. And we'll come into figure 4 pose. So bring the feet about hips distance apart, heels near your hips, and then take the right ankle over the left knee, slightly above the knee on the thigh. Option to stay here. You can take the foot onto a block, or you can thread the hands through to draw the left thigh in toward the belly. Right foot is flexed. We've got to stretch through those outer hip muscles. We used them a lot in this practice. So we're stretching the glute max and the glute min, or the glute medius and the glute minimus in this pose. You can even rock a little bit from side to side to find that sweet spot, that part of the stretch that feels the best. And then release the left foot back down to the floor. We'll switch sides. So take the left ankle over the right thigh, slightly above the knee. And then stay here. Elevate the foot onto a block or thread the hands through to draw the right thigh in. You could also use a strap if you needed some help reaching the back of the thigh. Flex the left foot. Lengthen through the spine. Draw the thigh in as much as feels good. And then maybe rocking slightly from side to side, finding that juiciest part of the stretch that feels really good. And release, uncrossing the legs, extending the legs out toward the bottom of your mat, coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Arms out at your sides, palms face up. Tucking the shoulder blades slightly under your heart space. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale completely. Feel the body begin to release. Let the tension melt away. Inhale. Exhale to release. Inhale, final deep breath. Exhale. Let the body get soft and heavy. Let the tension melt out. Let the hips and shoulders get heavy down on the mat. Take these next moments of silence to just enjoy your Shavasana, enjoy being still. On your next inhale, deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. As you're ready, bend one knee and then the other to roll onto one side to rest. And slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bringing the hands to prayer at heart center. And with the eyes closed or the gaze soft, take your drishti now to the place of your third eye, that space in between your two eyebrows. Send your attention there, this drishti, this focal point, in the space of your third eye, the location of your intuition. Just focusing the attention there for a moment. Maybe even taking the eyes beneath your eyelids to look up at that point. And then release. Folding forward over the legs. Namaste.